Hello my pouring friends. Today I'm doing a creation using something completely not different but perhaps unusual. Today I'm going to be using a mica powder, and the reason I'm going to be using this particular mica powder is because I have actually quite fallen in love with it, particularly this violet one. My first encounter of creating with it was with this tile here, and this was my first experiment with it, and you can see the vibrancy of the color and the incredible luster that it offers. Unfortunately, this tile didn't have a well, so this spread further than I wanted it to, but you can still see the gorgeous sparkles that it has to offer, as well as the beautiful violet effect. And this was using resin. I then thought, what's going to happen if I mix that up with some floetrol? And I did, and I added it to my magic moss creation after I had the nosedive incident, bug nosedive incident here. And I've put just a couple of random streaks through this creation just to see what would happen with it. And you can't really quite capture it on video, or I'm not getting the angle right to show you the glisten that it offers. But today I'm going to mix it up and use it as part, well, you know, equally as I use with, use it as part of my creation, just as though it is a paint. So with this, I'm going to probably add about 1 tablespoon to about 100 mils of floetrol, only floetrol, because that's what I used in here, and then mix it up into this container, and then get on with doing a creation here. And I want to use a swipe, just because I'm going to be doing an initial, and let's see how a mica pigment goes in a swiping creation. Isn't it gorgeous? Let's get going. Okay, so that's how I brought it to consistency, and unfortunately you just can't see the beautiful shimmer that's even in the floetrol on camera. But I'm going to keep going forward with the creation. One of the important things to do to make sure that this is going to be seen in the creation is to make sure I have darker colors around it, so that it's got something to reflect off and also to contrast to. As you can see, my pouring consistency is of this type, you know, however you want to call that, the type where it leaves a little lovely ridge into the medium itself as it comes down and then disappears and sinks back into itself. Today I'm going to be using the swiping method because it's one of my favorite methods in the whole entire world. And I'm going to actually attempt to do a swipe of an S for my granddaughter's bedroom, S for summer. So let's get on with it. So I've given myself a bit of a guide just because I'm not so confident with my shaping, and that's okay because it is just simply a experimental fun piece. And what I want to remind myself of, as well as you, that my S that I'm going to be doing, I'm doing it on raw canvas, and once the beautiful S in the swiping is done, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and I can tidy up all of the edging and really make that S stand out and correct the little bit of shapes or shapings that don't come out as well as I'd hoped on the way through. So, you know, even just speaking that out loud helps me lose that strive to get the absolute perfect S happening. But even as I say it, I feel like I want to strive for it. Aren't we funny creatures? So I'm just laying some of my paint down, having a think about, what am I thinking about? Well, at this point I still think I'm thinking about the shape of that S, and I'm not too sure if I've got it in my mind about how I'm doing it here, but I just need to remind myself, like I explained to you guys just then, that I can come back and correct anything that's not, you know, not to my absolute satisfaction. So what I'm using today is a whole lot of paints that have been made up for another creation and used, and oh, see, that doesn't actually sort of go along the lines. I feel like I need to maybe talk less. And just see how we go. I know what might help me. Doing my outer S here to give me a guideline of where I'm filling in. That will help me inordinately. There we go. And now I'll come around this inner part in the same method. And then I can have a look at it and get moving. Okay, so I want my S a little bit more coming out there. What do you think of that? That's much better. Oh, I feel better now. All right, we're back on track. It's all go. It's all systems go. So far, what was I saying? Using leftover paints from other creations to create a lovely S for my summer roses bedroom. And we're going to be using the A1 Violet Starlight pigment in this, just like we use any of our acrylic paints. And as you can see, I'm just doing stripes, and the reason being is that the direction that I'm going to be swiping is up and over, so it'll blend these colours into each other, and we should get some really bright, colourful effects, which is what we want for a 4-year-old's bedroom. Nice bit of purple, and I'm going to be looking forward to putting the shimmer starlight pigment next to that, indeed. I'm just letting myself relax. I was really, you know, at the beginning uptight and wanting to make sure all of my lines were in order and that the colours were perhaps even lined up. Okay, I'm going to start adding some of the pigment in now and reminding ourselves that we're not going to see how this works in this creation until it's dried. And that's just the nature of it being fundamentally clear right now, because it's only mixed with floetrol, and its effect will come out on the other colours. I can already see how promising it is. I can't wait to see it on the red. Okay, so that's that. Oh, hop off. I think I'd like to add a bit of orange in, because I love orange and pink together. Not so much, ooh, look at that big glop. Let's rescue that. I don't so much love orange and purple when it goes wrong, but when it goes right, it can look quite fantastic. So here's hoping for me to not be doing too much over swiping and just helping this come along together really nicely, so that that little bit of orange I've added in doesn't become a yucky goopy mess and stays as a feature. I'm going to add a little bit of green just because, and then I'm going to probably turn the camera off and go and get maybe a neon or something just to, got a lot of paint, I just realised that now. That's all right. Oh, hang on, this colour's gorgeous. I'm going to have to get that little bit of goopiness out. Just going to do this like that. Is there any silver left? No. Okay, where's the, oh, I'm going to move that tile out of the way. And let's get this goopy bit out. Let's start, hey? With no further delay. Oh, so I've already got some colour on there, which that's okay because that'll inform the background. I need something to wipe and swipe, remembering our wipe and swipe rule. Oh, sorry Jasmine, just making a massive mess over there. Oh, glad you didn't see it. Here we go. So, oh, okay, so my swiping tool is now thinner than the swiping area. And I'm just going to bring it across and let that make its effect upon itself. Trying not to feel too paranoid and trying not to over control, knowing that the paints are doing their thing and they'll do it no matter what we think or what we try to influence it to do or not do. And here we go, that's swipe number one done. Lifting off and having a look, and really pleased with some of the patterns that have already started to merge up. And of course, because I'm doing the swipe, I feel like I want to get all of these bits in, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should leave some of this paint a bit mixed up to help it just be a little bit different. I mean, this is a fun creation and it's looking really fun and really lively, and in fact, I would suggest that I'm almost at the point of having to stop and let it sit. Can you believe that already? Oh, how disappointing. So I want to push some of this in just simply because I feel like I want a better shape of my S there. So let's see if I'm able to do that, because that is just part of our learning curve in doing the alphabet. I didn't even know we were going to be doing the alphabet. Well, I did, but how did that go? Oh, it's not too bad. It's going to keep running up. I could add some background paint there, but I of course then risk all of this drizzling into it and making it more messy. So we're just going to leave that to come back and correct, or not even really correct, but highlight once the paint itself is dry. I'm going to bring this one up and over, the swipe up and over there, just simply because that's what I just felt like doing intuitively. And after this, I really think I should probably stop. And that's when I need someone here with me, because I'm that person who likes to take it too far and keep working it, even though I've said 3 times now it's probably at its capacity. It is looking really gorgeous. We've got such a beautiful combination of cells and patterns emerging. And of course we're going to be able to see how that pigment, the A1 pigment goes. I feel like I want to maybe run the A1 pigment around the edging, and I think I should, because if I feel that way, then maybe that's what I need to do. And I don't need to do it everywhere. And I feel like I want to do it because I want to have parts that are quite heavier in it And because I'm not exactly certain how it's going to dry up, I feel like I want to add more. And of course, remembering that it should fundamentally dry quite clear. So it will be interesting to see what it does. Alright, I'm going to pause you and then start taping again so I can stop. Alright, got my massive torch out because I can't find my little student torches. Oh, that's getting really tight there. I'm going to have to get a new one soon. I think I've just nearly resined it shut. Alright, let's give this a nice, just a flick. It's for air bubbles, nothing else. God, how often do I say that and then sit here torching it for 5 hours? Alright, yes, that is an exaggeration. Okay, so it has helped with some cells, but I do want to get my mitts off the torch now. Someone, just down that red line there. Okay, that'll do it. And let's bring you off the tripod so you can have a look at how this is coming along. There it is, the S straight on. Oh, pardon me. From quite a distance, and let's come on in and see how it's going with the effects. As you can see, we've got some really gorgeous patterns emerging, great contrasting and complementary colours, delicate and bold features, all within the one creation. And we're really not going to know much more about how the mica pigments are going to feature in this until it's dry. But doesn't it just look gorgeous? And isn't this a beautiful gift idea? Oh, there's a bug. All right, well, luckily we've got that awesome drying box over there that this can go straight into, so we don't have any crying about bugs that get in. Okay, let's turn this off and see how it dries over the next couple of days, and then I'll show you what's going on with it. I thought I'd better show you what I've done so that when it dries you don't all go, what have you done? What I've done is used all of the mixed up mica powder, so there's none left at all, and used it into the background. And oh, what a shame. The sun was reflecting on it before, just in a way where you could see some of those sparkles coming up, and I was really pleased with what was promising to be such a really sparkly finish. Let's see, there's some up there. I can see them with my eye, but not with the camera. Anyway, I filled in all that area there. All the middle part of the S there is completely filled in, and then made the border around the S much broader using the last part of that mica. Okay, this time I'm really putting it away. Wah, wah, wah. That's my fake cry. Look, my pouring box was uneven and it's all slid down the back, and look, it's all slid off. I didn't check it was even last time I used it, but I didn't realise someone had put something underneath my pouring box here and changed the way that it tilted towards the back. So look, all the S has fallen off the back. It's still quite wet. This is the next day, but look, we can see some of that awesome pigment shining here. That's the diamond series and how it works with the floetrol. So nonetheless, I think we can still get a good creation out of it. We're going to let it dry completely, and then I'm going to do some detail, and I don't know, I'm going to see how I can go and show you how I go as I go. But let's close up on that pigment there. I just wanted to really emphasize how we can use many more things in pouring than what we just think. And it's a really good alternative, you know, when we're trying to get some sparkles in. I can't actually tilt the painting to show you areas on darker. Oh look, there it is shining on the purple, and how shiny and shimmery that looks there. But yeah, there's still quite a lot of paint in here, very wet and heavy, and that's all the beautiful diamond sparkle in there, and it's still wet, so it's got to dry and it will become translucent, and we'll see these colors coming up. Same with this middle part here, very, very wet still. Okay, so let's check it tomorrow. Wah, wah. Do you like my pretend baby cry? Wah. Okay, I'm over the shock of it now, and it's still quite workable. I'm still crying about it. What a carry on. I know I can fix it really well. It's pretty much really nicely touch dry. But I won't do any work on it for another week or so. But what I wanted to show you was that pigment that we used and added in the floetrol clear. Look at how that's created changes. See there where it looks quite clear, but it goes violet. It's almost like a chameleon. And here, when it's with some paints, it's really given just some gorgeous effects and added an extra level of interest to our pause, which is always something that we're looking for. So I'll get on to doing the post embellishment work on this. Oh look, it's still quite wet there. Can you see how shiny it is on that bit of paint there? There, oh, there. That's really quite wet. Oh God, where's the nail gone? Just trying to hang it to get some air around it. It's out of the box now. So I think that was the bottom of the S originally, and that was the top. I'll do the post embellishment work in maybe a week. I'll just really let that have a good chance to dry and finish off a couple of my other projects and see what I can do to get that S popping out. I think I'll probably have to go darker because I think what I might do is do some PBO work over it. That'll help it look really good and nice. So anyway, look, that's that diamond effect there. Oh, hang on, I have to go that way into the light. It's just, you know, it looks so much better in real life than it does. You know, I'm trying to tilt it and show you. I really love it. I like using it in resin, but it's really cool using it in an acrylic pour too, because it's made. All right, that's enough crapping on about it. I know you can see what I mean. Jeez. God, I can talk. Oh, look at that there. I really shouldn't be complaining too much. It's got some really gorgeous features. Once it's finished, it'll look good. All right. Bye. I'll see you soon. Well, it's beautiful and dry and ready for me to do the next part on. I've decided to go around, cover these parts in to emphasize the S in a really dark green, almost this color green. And then I'm going to vibrantly bright up the outside part where the green is. I'm not really too sure how to explain it. It's all in my mind, you know, one of those things. But quick, have a look at how that gorgeous diamond series violet's going. I'm excited to do this next part. I think I'm also ready to have this painting finished. It's been haunting me. So let's get on with it. You are now going to transform into an awesome S. So that's all nice and dry now, and I've got a few areas where I've beeped it. But what I'm going to do now, as you can see I've started, is go around and glue some mirrored glass around the edge of the S, and when it dries it'll really pop. Just keeping in mind that this project will be resin coated in the end. Oh, you can't see it really well, but anyway, I'll do it and show you, and you can see how nice and glitzy it is. What I'm using is PBO pale gold and a pale gold mirrored crushed glass, and that will provide a beautiful shimmer. So our S has got a lovely border of crushed glass on it, and what I'm going to do now is actually add some chameleon pigment that's mixed with pure floetrol, and I'm putting it directly over the green, and it will add an incredible shimmer and depth that will make this whole piece pop. So I'll get on with doing that and I'll show you when it's dry. Can you see how that's, well, you can't really see the shimmer, but when I tilt it into the sun you'll be able to see it. Hello my creative friends. Today we're flood coating the S. The S is for Summer, my granddaughter. It's part of her Christmas present. I think it's like the 18th of December or something like that. I'm not very good with dates. I'll also be splitting off a little bit of the clear coat and adding some of these holographic love heart sparkles into the S, just to help it even twinkle more. But as you can see, it's quite sparkly. So let's get on with it. By the way, I'm mixing up 400 mils of resin, even though one of the online resin calculators suggests that for a 40-inch by 16-inch substrate, which this is what this is, 600 mils is what is required. However, I'm not requiring a really deep coverage, just, you know, a nice light gloss over, and you'll see how the 400 mils is more than enough for this. So let's get on with it. I'll be masking up and probably putting on some hideous music. Hopefully you'll like it. Who knows? That's the music. I'm sure you'll enjoy the process. Let's go. Alright, here she is. I'm just going to show you that nice flush finish. Here you can see there's a little bit of non-smoothness, but that's due to the 3D, not the resin. I'm just trying to get an angle where you can just really see how glossy this is. The only issue I had wasn't resin related, it was that the size of the canvas, and it was quite saggy, did cause the resin to roll into the middle. So it meant on the edges here, I'll see if I can try and capture it, there's not the flush finish as well as it is in the middle. See just there how it's got that tiny 1 or 2 mil pull? Nonetheless, it's still done a great job. And that was certainly a substrate issue, not a resin issue. So, awesome glossy finish. Oh, by the way, how's that effect here? That's A1 pigments in acrylic, because this was an acrylic pour and then resin coated. So how a bit gorgeous is that? I love how that's sort of come up and really given the acrylic underneath a dimension of its own. Super nice. And there's those love hearts that you saw me add in. Alright, I could keep talking forever, so I have to have some discipline and wave bye-bye in the reflection. And yes, happy creating, everyone. We'll go out and have a nice big look. There we go. That lovely, gorgeous S for Summer Rose. By the way, that's my beautiful howling dingo.